Right guys, so as promised, here I am with my breakdown of the Crew Calling All Units expansion. Now, I must admit, initially I was a bit weary about this DLC, but I'm happy to say after watching, breaking down and analysing this trailer 5 times, I was left more impressed after each viewing. So, starting things off, as you can see, we have a brand new vehicle to play with, one of many no doubt, and it looks like a Jeep, some sort of Jeep Wrangler in a kind of rugged bulletproof attire. And this thing looks like it handles like an absolute rock star. Independent suspension taking full advantage of the off-road terrain. Now as you can see, there are some new icons on the screen. As we know, the expansion focuses on the thrill of the chase, a sort of cops versus robbers theme. Think Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and then you're probably along the right lines. Now on the right we have a timer ticking down which looks to indicate how long we have left to get away. You can also see a purple hexagon moving around on the screen, giving us an approximate idea of what direction our chaser is coming from. What you will also notice is that there is also a player ID above this symbol, which is the biggest indication yet that there will probably and most likely be some sort of PvP chase mode. Now, we turn our attentions to the 2 white circular icons in the bottom centre. They seem to be some sort of defence and attack based mechanisms to aid us in our escaping from the oncoming police. Now, interestingly, watch what happens to the speed dial the moment the lightning strike is activated. Look at that, instant full blast of NOS deployed. Now what's even more interesting is not only do the cops have EMP attacks at their own disposal, but in this instance it was actually used to completely cancel out the NOS boost we had activated. Something tells me these chases are going to be a real hard slog. Now, as I slow the video down again, I'd like to correct a mistake I made earlier, as it seems the countdown timer at the bottom on the right is actually an indication as to how long you have to wait for the weapon you have used to become active again, because clearly it's the one that just popped up in the middle which indicates how long you have to escape. Now guys, what you're about to see next is for me the most impressive thing about the whole damn trailer. We switch camera to view our chaser. Notice the red symbol. Yes, we are taking aim, and boom! Got him! Flashbang to the face! Right between his eyes. That is so freaking cool! So on completion of this mission, the game brings us to a fresh set of new post-race information screens. A revamped Part 1 screen which focuses on vehicle completion. A level 60 part which serves as hard proof that the level cap has finally been pushed up, which is great news for you guys who love to level up, and we can see the legendary level 1299 is legendary no more. Moving on, we can see the vehicle selection screen looking pretty similar to how it looked before, with one clear noticeable difference: the blue highlights. Now, I thought there would be a new spec class created for patrol cars, but at this point I'm not so sure. I can only assume the blue symbolises the cars that we have converted into patrol cars, and oh, there we go, I'm right. For the first time since 2008, I've actually been right about something. Now, aside from the sirens, if we look back at the speedo, we can see that not only has it changed colour wise, but there is also a panther-like logo in the middle. As we know, the factions in the crew are all named after animals. Could this mean there's going to be some kind of police-based faction war in PvP, where it's like the whole lobby's divided into factions, like all chasing down one rider? Or maybe faction versus faction, taking it in turns to be cops and robbers? I mean, at this point I have no idea, I'm just speculating. I mean, either idea will be absolute carnage and mayhem, and I like carnage and mayhem. Carnage and mayhem is good. Now, as we advance further, we begin to learn a little bit more about how the game will work from the perspective of a cop. What I find most interesting here is that you have the full force of the law at your disposal. You will notice that the other police vehicles around you do not have player IDs on top of them. This, coupled with the fact that we just saw the activation of the helicopter, shows that you will certainly not be short of computer AI backup in your hunt for the criminal. Although it will be interesting to see how Ivory Tower balance this out so there is no huge advantage to the cops, because to me this just seems a little bit one-sided at this stage. But again, I could be wrong, as I was wrong with my predictions and theories yesterday. Yes, I'm very salty about that, very salty. Now, what would an expansion be without new cars? Would you like some eggs? Perhaps some sausages with your Lamborghini Huracan, sir? Yes, they've given us another Lambo, it looks lean, it looks mean, and it looks yellow. Now, as you can see, there is some sort of blue circular thing around the car. It looks like another type of police mechanism used to slow us down. Interestingly, it is also referred to as an EMP, but it looks like it works in a different manner from the one we saw earlier, which was a green bolt of electricity under the car, sending it up into the air. Now, the crew, as we know, is different to most other racers out there, as it is actually an MMORPG with the focus on leveling up. I'm scratching my beard and I'm just wondering if they have brought this mechanic across to the weapons. Can we level them up and change their skill types? Because if we can, that will be absolutely unreal. Now, in regards to the footage, that just about wraps up all the information related to what was released. I'm going to leave the link to the full 15 minutes of gameplay in the description box, and of course, when more information is released tomorrow, you can be sure I'll be all over it like a rash. I don't have acne, just in case you're thinking that. Now, if it's your first time here, I'd like to wish you a warm welcome and thank you for dropping by. Be sure to subscribe to me to ensure you get instant notification of when I drop tomorrow's video after the Gamescom announcement. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, be sure to check out episode 7 of my head-to-head showdown series entitled Fear Conqueror, Ferrari versus Plane. Let's see if we can surpass 200 views on that. As always, drive safely and I'll see you tomorrow.